Bukayo, it's good to see your smiling face once again. Let's try and get to know you a little bit better. We'll start with the football. Why football?
Football is happiness to me. So from the moment I realised that it existed, it was all I ever wanted to do.
Was there ever any chance of it being anything else?
Not in my head. Maybe in my parents, or obviously they tried to make sure I had a plan B, which is of course sensible. But in my head, it was only football.
What was your first memory of playing the game?
Playing in my back garden with my brother and my dad. It was 2v1 actually. It was me against them, and they're both older than me. So
you were always the one, and they were always the two.
Yeah. But I would never lose. I would not accept it. Even if I was I would not accept it. I would cry. I would do anything.
That tells me quite a lot about your mentality.
Man, it started young.
How young are we talking?
We're talking maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
From that early.
And you had that love for the game back then and that competitive edge. Can you remember the first team that you played for?
Yeah, Greenfield Celtic.
What do you remember of playing for them?
I remember everything. From the kit to the...
What was the kit like? Talk me through it. Give me a picture of it.
Green stripes with white stripes. Had like a Celtic logo. We used to play in like a local park. After the game, boots muddy completely. You have to slap them against the trees.
Proper football, isn't it?
Proper football, yeah. So I remember everything. It was a really important chapter of my life, and I enjoyed it as well. What
kind of age were you when you joined that team?
I would have been maybe 6.
At what point did you think, okay, I'm quite good at this? I know you're humble, so you won't want to say ever, but there must have been a moment where you looked around and thought, hold on, I'm maybe a little bit better.
You can be humble and also believe that you're good as well. I think there's nothing wrong with both, and they can both be together. And I think I had that from young, but I just never thought about it. I was just enjoying the game, and I was good at it, so it made it even more fun.
What position were you back then? Because obviously we've seen you play left back here, we've seen you down the wing. What, were you always going to be an attacker?
I was always going to be a winger, I'd say. Obviously that was the first position I played, on the left wing, when I was growing up. So yeah.
And then, of course, it's always been Arsenal, hasn't it? Can you remember when you found out that you were going to be signing here?
I remember my dad telling me I got scouted, because it was different. You got a scout card. Scouts would have come to watch you at a local team. And obviously they gave my dad a card, said, call me, we'll set up a trial. So I remember first coming into Haylen, my first
How did you feel?
First trial. I didn't even feel an ounce of fear, I was just like, I'm just going to play football, just enjoy it. And I played so good. I think I trialled at the B team. I played so good, they put me in the A team, and from there, signed, and I've been at Arsenal ever since.
Was it always Arsenal for you?
Yeah. Well, at that point of my career, the decisions were more made by your parents. You're just a kid. You don't really, do you know what I'm saying?
Do what you're told.
Yeah. And my dad made it clear to me, Arsenal's the club I want you at. And I said, okay, let's go.
Good decision from Dad, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, great decision.
Why did he want you to come here? What was it about Arsenal?
Yeah. No, he believed in Arsenal, believed in the pathway, and it was visible. You could see players, and obviously Arsene Wenger at the time, how much he believed in the academy, how much he wanted to use the academy, and also the class, that Arsenal have, and the football that they play. So all of that was just perfect for him, and he just wanted me to be here.
How special is it being an Arsenal fan, playing for Arsenal, because that's so many young kids' dreams?
It's just a dream come true. Obviously growing up, going to the stadium and watching Arsenal play in so many different games, and to now being the one on the pitch, and other people watching you, and all the stuff that comes with it, family, that used to talk about Arsenal, and now it's you. It's so many different aspects of it that makes it so beautiful, and I'm just enjoying every moment still.
So did you used to come and watch Arsenal as a kid?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I bet now you must have so many ticket requests for all the games.
Ask the boys.
Can you remember, because not every young boy makes it, you all want to, that's the dream, but can you remember a time, even going through the academy, where you thought, okay, I'm going to make it to the first team?
I remember being in the change room one time, we just played a game, our team was so good, we just smashed the team. The coach came in, I think it was Greg Lincoln, and he came in and said, listen boys, look around, it's an unbelievable team, but only one of you is going to make it, maybe even 2. And I just remember that day just thinking, oh my God, it needs to be me. It has to be me.
And I guess that's what a lot of young boys and girls don't realise, isn't it? Yeah. It's such a small percentage that make it.
Yeah, I don't think maybe coaches, they won't tell all the boys, because some boys, it can put fear into them. It might make them a bit less confident, but for me, it made it so clear to me, you know, that this is not like, it's not going to be all perfect and roses forever. You know, you have to work for this, and for me, it helped me a lot.
Which coach or former teammate would you say has had the biggest impact on your career?
It's tough to say. I always speak about how much David Luiz and Aubameyang, they both helped me a lot coming into the team. The way they welcomed me, you know, for me, I was quite quiet, you know. Obviously, coming into Arsenal, these were like my heroes, you know, players that I was watching from the stands, and I get to play with them now. So it's a bit of a different experience for me, and I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't want to, you know, rub anyone off the wrong way, so I was just preferred to be a bit more quiet. But these guys, they welcomed me and helped me feel myself, and gave me advice, you know, and gave me confidence, that push, you know. And you know, you could see it when I was on the pitch, you know, the confidence I was playing with. It was definitely helped by them, and obviously the rest of my teammates as well, that helped me too.
If you could relive one match from your career, what would it be?
If I could relive?
Yeah.
Because it went bad or because it was a good moment?
Probably because, well, you can do bad if you want, but you can
I'm asking you.
I'd say good, but if you want
Good
to do
one.
bad. A game where you really thought, I'm at the peak here, I'm not the peak, but I'm playing
Peak.
well. Because you'll tell me you haven't reached your peak yet.
No, I haven't. I don't like to think like that, but it's a good question, to be fair. Maybe we can come back to it, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's get to know Bukayo Saka, the person, a little bit better then.
Okay.
What's your full name?
Bukayo Saka.
Have you got middle names?
I've got middle names. You want to know everything?
Yeah, tell me.
It's on Wikipedia. You can go on there.
I don't use that for my research, Bukayo.
Okay. My name is Bukayo Moses Ayoyenka Temidayo Saka.
And that's because of your Nigerian roots, isn't it? Are you proud of those?
I'm very proud of it, yeah.
Yeah, is that a big thing in your family?
Yeah, 100%. Both my parents grew up in Nigeria, so a lot of their values is instilled in me, so yeah.
Talk me through a typical day in your childhood then. Who was at home?
Being at home, I just remember obviously waking up, we'd have breakfast. My mum would normally have gone to work. My dad was always around. And if he had to go to work, it was just me and my brother, but they'd always leave us breakfast, hot cross bun with
hot cross bun.
sausage, like a sausage cut up. Frankfurter, do you know Frankfurter?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some ketchup. That was my breakfast.
Hold on.
This morning.
A sausage roll and a hot cross bun together?
Not
a sausage
roll.
Yeah, but a sausage and a hot cross bun together.
You cut the hot cross bun, you cut the sausage up, put it in the hot cross bun, then put ketchup, then close the hot cross bun.
I've got so many questions about that. I'm not sure about that.
Unreal. Credit to my dad, my mum.
Sweet.
I don't know whose idea it was, one of them.
You don't still have that now, do you?
Nah.
Not the most nutritious.
Not anymore. It helped me growing up though.
So. Yeah, maybe that's the secret and why you're here today, but
maybe.
In my eyes that's a bit weird, but that's fine.
Fair enough.
What were you like at school?
Yeah, I was quite bright at school. I felt I was able to pick like the information on quite quickly. I was good at understanding it, like all the different subjects that they were explaining and teaching. So yeah, I said I was a good learner.
And your GCSEs, I mean, you've said before what you got, but just remind me what your grades were.
Oh man, I think it was around 4 A stars and 4 A's. I can't remember exactly, but it's online somewhere. It's a long time ago.
Who's the first person you speak to after a game?
Depends how I'm feeling.
Okay, you've won. Who do you pick up the phone to?
I'm not really a big phone call person. Normally I would text my brother.
Or is there someone that texts you?
I get a lot of texts.
Popular guy.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're playing for Arsenal.
I get a lot of texts, especially if you win or you score. You know, a lot of people want to congratulate you, which is nice. You know.
What's an ideal day off looking like for you? What would you like to do if you want to escape from football?
Ideal day off. Wake up in the morning, go for a walk by myself.
Do you like time to yourself?
Yeah. Recently, more than ever, like I like going for walks. You know, like with nature, just relax. I think it's so peaceful. It's nice. Come back, have some breakfast, and then probably go into London, just get some food with like my closest people, something I like doing, going to like restaurants and stuff like that. If I have even more energy, maybe some shopping, and yeah, just enjoying that side of things, you know, if it's a full day off.
I always find this question hard when people ask me, but what are your hobbies?
My hobbies? Football. Recently I like making coffees.
Okay.
I'm into my
barista.
coffee area, yeah. I think I'm a part-time barista now. I'm trying to learn how to do the
hard.
art.
You good?
So hard.
So hard, isn't
No,
it?
but I'm getting there. I'm getting
What
better.
do you normally do?
No, I do a flat white. Or you mean what do I draw? I haven't been able to draw anything yet.
Oh, so you're still
Yeah, I'm still
a junior.
Still getting. I'm gonna take lessons soon. I want to take lessons soon. Really.
Interesting. What's your proudest moment of your career today?
I think I'd say where I am now. You know, the circumstances I grew up in and the ups and downs and the challenges, setbacks or whatever that I've dealt with, and to still be here today and in the position I'm in, I'm going strong, still focused, motivated and happy. I think it's probably something that gets overlooked and it's something I can definitely be proud of. You know, as I get a bit older, you understand, you know, that, you know, sometimes you can't always, you know, be fully invested in football 24/7. You need to have a good balance and give your mind some time to switch off as well and, you know, enjoy the other aspects of life too.
At what point did you get to realise that? Was there a moment you thought, hold on, this isn't the be all and end all. I need to be able to step away to be the best on the pitch?
I think it was last season when I got injured. Like before then, I was like almost like a autopilot, you know, game after game, recovery game, and I didn't really, you know, take in anything else. But obviously when you get injured, you can't do what you love, you can't play football. So I was literally in the brace, in the crutches for almost a month. And you have to like...
You can't play football.
No, you have to entertain yourself in other ways. So like, it just opened up that part of my brain to different sides of things. And I think since then it's been like, you know, there's a bit more to life than football. It's not just football, but at the same time, football is my life. So it's like just trying to find a balance, you know, because I'm still, you know, the same dedication, the same motivation, but just trying to find that little break and switch off as well at the same time.
If you could only achieve one more thing in your life, what would it be?
In my career?
Yeah.
I think that's obvious, pretty obvious. All the trophies, Arsenal and England, it's definitely something I want to achieve in my career. So if you give me that option, then yeah, I'll take that.
And how would you describe the Bukayo Saka sitting in front of me? I've sat down with you before. I remember sitting down with you at Euro 2021, and you feel like not a different player, but the way you speak in is with such maturity and confidence now that I think maybe you didn't have before. How would you describe Bukayo Saka now?
I think I explained a bit earlier, like just, you know, the natural evolution, the player and person I was, what was expected of me, and the life I lived then is completely to the one now. You know, naturally, as you go from there to there, you learn different things, you mature, you grow, stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest difference.
You still like having fun though, don't you? Because I know you're one of the jokers in the dressing room as well.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, I think. Have fun, smile, laugh every day. I think you can't miss that. You can't, you know, no matter what, you can't miss that.
Bukayo, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
But Tim, let's look at Spurs. I mean, they're currently fifth, but the fans, they're still not really sold on Thomas Frank, are they?
No, they're not. It's because of their form at home. It's not been good enough. You know, not been entertaining. They haven't been picking up results. The fans will tolerate no matter how you play. They did it with Jose, did it with Antonio Conte. If you're winning every week, as soon as the results start dipping, like they have with Tottenham, especially at home, then they start looking at being entertained and the performances, and it's not been good enough. And I can't really put my finger on it.
They're fifth, and there was 17th.
They're fifth, but I can understand why. I mean, I did that game against Man United. They were both as poor as each other. I mean, it was a very poor 2-2. But on the other hand, you've got to take them away from home, like they're going to the Emirates. It's going to be difficult. They make it difficult. They play on a counter attack. They're not under as much pressure to play a certain way, like the home fans bring. They can play how they want. They can suck up the possession. They can suffer. They don't mind suffering out without the ball. Then they've got pace. They've got likes of Kudos, who's been refreshing. He's picked up a few injuries, but when he's played, he's been, you know, I think he's been a plus. He's not been outstanding. I don't think he's ever going to be outstanding. I think he's not consistent enough to be that man. But he has moments, and hopefully he can have a moment at the weekend.
I mean, looking at Spurs, though, you know, and going back to what you were talking about with Thomas Frank, this is Spurs' first season without both Son and Kane, who, you know, who were their goal scorers. And they've had injuries to Maddison, Solanke, Kulusevski all season. Is it too early to to judge Thomas Frank.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, we've got to give him the time to be able to do it and get them players back, because it helps with Kulusevski. I think he's got a load of flavour, and certainly Maddison has as well. They can make you play. They can give you a little bit more control in the game. At the moment they're playing, they're all similar. The wide, I've said it before, Xabi Simons they was bringing in. I wasn't convinced. I was here when he come in, because I felt it was similar to Odergard, it was similar to Tell, it was similar to what they've already got. Kudos has come in. I thought he was quite similar, but he's a little bit more personality. I think he takes the game to the opposition a little bit more, and he's got more end product. Centre forwards, they've had injuries to Solanke, you said that. Richarlison's like hit and miss, you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes he's a 10 out of 10 and sometimes he's a 2 out of 10. You know, it's just, you've got to take the rough with the smooth with him. So I haven't been really impressed with Tottenham, even though their position in the league is fine at the moment. What is success for Tottenham at the end of the season? They've had the Europa League success, they've had the Open Tour top bus, they've tasted it. If they was to finish outside of European places, and which is very
Champions League or
European places, outside Champions League, outside fourth or fifth, I think possibly, then it would be a failure if they didn't win a domestic trophy. They already lost the biggest game of the season, which was the Newcastle game in the Carabao Cup. For me, that was a huge game of football. They had to win that. It was away from home, but they got beat. So I think they're up against it to have a successful season, because the only thing the Tottenham fans will see as a success is to finish in the Europa League or Champions League. Sorry, Europa League will not tick the box for them.
What have you made of Julian? What have you made of Thomas Frank and Spurs so far? I think the Spurs fans are a little bit too harsh.
I don't know if it's too harsh. I think Tim said it really well. He's a pragmatic coach. So I think the defensive structure came first, although they considered a bit lately. But certainly, I think they would be solid first and foremost, and then they would probably play a bit more with the ball. I think the Son and Kane point is very interesting, because they knew for a long time that Son would not be there. And yet they waited the last day of the transfer window to sign Colomwani on loan, who is not really the answer. We talk about Richarlison and Solanke. Colomwani is another one. He's not world class. He's a good player. If you play on his strength, he will give you a lot, as we saw in the Champions League game against Copenhagen, for example. But he's still not Brazilian Ronaldo either. So I think in the recruitment in the summer, I think there's question to be asked over what the club did at the time. We said they missed out on Eze, for example, and things like that. I think there's a lot of questions mark over that, but now he's got these squads. I think they will improve. He needs more energy, I feel, from the fans, and I know it's difficult at home, but he feeds off energy, Thomas Frank. That's what he did at Brentford. And even from the players, sometimes I feel like they're not really responding in terms of energy in the way he would like them to.
This game on Sunday, it is massive.
It's the biggest game.
It is the biggest game, and for this Tottenham side, and for the players that are injured and currently the squad that they've got, are we going to see a bit of a scrap? Is this going to be a proper battle? Is that how they're going to get through this game?
I'm not sure you're allowed to do that anymore in the modern day.
But do you know what I mean, though? Is it going to be one of those, backs against the walls? Exactly. Is it going to be?
It will be a low block. It will be you break us down, and we'll try and catch you on the counter attack. That's what it'll be. Long throws, set pieces. I mean, Thomas has said it in his press conference today. If we can nullify them on set pieces, we're half the battle. Now, they're good at set pieces as well, Tottenham. They've got their own threats. And Gabriel missing is going to be a huge blow for Arsenal. But Arsenal they want to go out there and put a performance on. You cannot underestimate how big this game of football is for Arsenal. If they've got aspirations to go and win the Premier League, they have to win this game, in my opinion. Not because of the points total, because what it would mean. On the back of drawing a game at Sunderland when everyone expected them to win, to lose a North London derby, the cloud what would come over the Emirates would be huge. You've got forget the Bayern Munich game. You can they will qualify through the group anyway. Chelsea coming after that. This would be huge. If they lose, it could end up in a couple. It spirals. It snowballs into something serious. They'll still be there or thereabouts, but everyone will be the same old thing. Arsenal bottled it. Can't play without Gabriel. The same old question marks will be coming into play.
Start off with any clarity you can give us on Gabriel and how serious that injury is.
Gabriel unfortunately picked up an injury with the Brazilian national team, and he's going to be out for weeks.
Can you give us any more clarity?
No, we need to have another scan. I think it's next Wednesday, and we'll have the timeline probably much more clear than we have at the moment.
it's clearly a blow, but have you ever felt more comfortable about the players that you can actually bring in and the options that you have when you have injuries like this?
Yeah, it's clearly a blow because it's our leader in our backline, and to missing obviously is never a positive thing. The good thing, as you mentioned, is that we have very good options, and people have to stand up now and do the job.
Riccardo Calafiori missed the Italy games. Is he okay?
Yeah, he missed it. He wasn't available. He's been carrying a few things, and we have to bring him back. And he hasn't trained yet, so tomorrow we have another training session and see how he is.
What chance the other injuries that you've had in Gyökeres, Martinelli, and the other longer-term ones in Jesus, Havertz, Madueke, and have I missed anyone there?
So, yeah, we put a lot of energy during the international break with all the medical staff as well to try to bring them as quick as possible. So tomorrow we have another training session, see how some of them are feeling, whether it's a bit too close to bring them in this game or we feel that they can have a contribution in the game. So tomorrow we'll have more clarity.
So there is a possibility some of them could be in the squad?
Yeah, well, I'm hopeful that we can make another step tomorrow, but certainly I cannot tell you.
And you can tell us the names of those?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
I can.
I know you've spoken about the North London derby before, but you've managed the North London derby. You've played in some of the most ferocious derbies in world football. What makes this one so unique, so special for you?
It's just different. I mean, it's a big city, but it's a big rivalry. It's a part of London that we want to conquer. They want to do the same. There's been a lot of shifts as well over the years as well. Who's been more dominant, and it's just beautiful, especially when we play at home in front of our people. We know what it means to them and the energy that they're going to bring, the energy that the team is going to bring in every single action, and it's just a privilege to play those kind of games. So we cannot wait to get to Sunday.
You mentioned the fans, and obviously it means so much to both sets of fans. But how big is a challenge is it to separate what their needs are and trying to focus on what is just a game that you want to win and you must win to get 3 points?
It's about bringing it into the table. That's the context of the game, and that's a superpower. You know, when you have everybody playing with that passion and with that emotion with the team, every single ball, it makes a difference. And we've been very privileged the way that the fans have been with us at the Emirates, and especially against our rivals. And on Sunday, I'm sure that the team is going to behave and make them very proud.
You mentioned the recent record. It has been very good. From your perspective, 5 wins and a draw in your last 6 North London derbies. Can you put your finger on why the record has been so good? Have you been able to separate the actual occasion with the actual game? Yeah,
it's a game that emotionally requires something else, and you cannot be too hype, but at the same time, that game demands that in every ball, in every action, you have to be at it a bit more than in any other game. And we have found a really good balance. Obviously, we played well. Sometimes we have deserved to win. Sometimes we've been a bit lucky as well to win. That's fair as well to say. So on Sunday, we need a really, really good performance to beat them.
I wonder, Mikel, if you've seen Wayne Rooney's comments about his 3 outstanding players of the season so far.
No.
Semenyo was one.
Good.
Brian Mbeumo was one.
Okay.
Victor Gyökeres was the 3rd one.
That one is very good.
Just following up on that, he has come under a bit of criticism. Can you allow yourself a little smile like you're doing now?
Well, I'm really glad that this is coming from someone like Wayne, his experience and the kind of player that he was. I'm sure it then is not just related to the goals that he has scored, but the contribution to the team number 9 can do, and the impact that Victor has in our team, his work rate and the way he opens the spaces for other people, the time that he generates for us, and then as well the level of threat that he's brought to the team, which is magnificent. So really happy to hear that.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Namesh. We'll go to Jake from PLP. Hi.
Hi.
How different a challenge, though, is Tottenham this season than they were last season, do you think?
Well, I think every game is very different, and in the same season as well, depending on the momentum of each team, the games are very, very different. I think Thomas has brought something very different to what they had before as well, and you just have to see his record and how remarkable job he did in his previous club, and he's given a very clear identity to the team, how they want to play, how they want to compete, and it will be very tough.
Some people have suggested that where they are in the Premier League table has maybe flattered them based on how they played. What are your thoughts on that?
I think when you start to be in the part of the season that we are, I think you have to really earn the right to be where you are. And I think they've done a lot of very, very good things that they deserve to win. They won in some tough places as well. The record away from home has been very impressive as well. So you need to merit that. Nobody gives you anything in this league.
Manchester City play tomorrow night, obviously ahead of you. If they win, they'll be 1 point behind you. Do you feel them kind of coming after you a bit?
No, everybody's going to try to win every game, the same as we are going to do. We just have to go game by game, control the things that we can do, prepare very well tomorrow. For Sunday, we have a beautiful game ahead of us, and that's what we can control.
And just lastly, a big opportunity for whoever you decide to play in place of Gabriel.
Yes, for sure, and that's what we're looking for. And the good thing is that we have rotate and play players in different positions very, very early in the season, and whoever plays is going to be ready to do that.
Alex, BBC.
Hi, Mikel. Start of a big week with Tottenham on Sunday, then into Bayern Munich, and then another London derby the following Sunday. How would you prepare and deal with these matches coming up, especially when you've got the injury issues you have at the moment?
Well, we've done the preparation and the international break. We knew that that was coming, was again very intense but beautiful as well. We have a very tough start of the season as well. We're ready for that. And now have everybody healthy, of the most of them healthy, which is a key thing obviously, and then again get in the rhythm, start to generate momentum again. We are in a really good moment, and we need to continue to do that game by game, because the games are going to be very, very thick and fast, and we need to be ready. Everybody has to be at it.
It's not just Arsenal that are suffering with injuries at the moment, Tottenham as well. I'm seeing it across football. A large part of both squads could be out if they don't come back for the match on Sunday. But do you think injuries are taking away from the quality of the game at the moment?
Well, injuries are part of football. Obviously, the demands that those players have in the way that the schedule is, obviously, is more demands than ever, and probably that's going to bring more injuries. We will try to avoid that as much as possible, but you can see that in many clubs, even in different countries as well. So we're going to have to live with that.
And then just on Gabriel Jesus, how is he getting on in his rehabilitation?
Very good. So he's doing everything with the team at the moment for the last almost 2 weeks. We're going to give him some exposure as well internally with some games, so he gets that fitness. But he looks really good in training, and he's going to be
The future of Ethan Nwanery's potential loan move is suddenly uncertain, as Arsenal remain wary of repeating past setbacks caused by injuries. According to recent reports, the club is open to sending the young midfielder out on loan this winter, but the idea raises immediate questions. Nwanery has become the talk of the moment after a report from the Daily Mail suggested that Arsenal are considering a temporary move for the 18-year-old. Despite his limited minutes this season, the thought of letting him leave, even temporarily, comes with significant doubts. Back in October, Mikel Arteta publicly insisted that Nwanery would have plenty of opportunities to play, pointing to the fact that the teenager had already been called upon when Martin Odergard was injured. "I don't know, but I don't work with expectations," Arteta said at the time. "I work with what the players can give in the context of where the team is at that moment." Ethan played 2 Premier League matches early on because Martin was out. He's played in other competitions and he'll play more. Yet the reality has been very different. Nwanery has logged fewer than 500 minutes this season, appearing in just 5 of Arsenal's 11 Premier League games, none of them as a starter. His only starts came in the 2 EFL Cup wins over Port Vale and Brighton, and in the 3-0 Champions League victory against Slavia Prague. The arrival of Ebereki Eze and the promotion of Max Daumann have tightened competition even further. And despite injuries to Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Noni Madueke, Nwanery's pathway has only narrowed. It's easy to forget how young he still is. At 18, and having first debuted at just 15, like Daumann, these are formative years where consistent playing time is crucial. The busy festive period could open that door, but with Odegaard, Madueke, and Kai Havertz all nearing their returns, there's a real chance Nwanery could slide even further down the pecking order. This is why a January loan sounds logical on paper, but it also sets off alarm bells. Arsenal's season has already been shaped by injuries for the second year in a row, and squad depth has never felt more essential. A single setback among the attacking players over the holiday fixture run could thrust Nwaneri back into an important role almost overnight. The more sensible approach may be to reassess in the summer, once the squad naturally reshapes and the club have a clearer picture of their needs heading into 2025. Only then would a loan feel more secure, ensuring Nwaneri actually gets the minutes he needs rather than risking another stalled development. Even then, nothing is guaranteed. Supporters will remember Serge Gnabry's loan to West Brom, intended to push him closer to first-team football, but ultimately a move that derailed his progress before he rebuilt his career in Germany. Arsenal's recent history with loans has been mixed at best, and too often unsuccessful. For now, the club must weigh the immediate needs of the squad against the long-term growth of one of their brightest prospects. Whether a loan becomes the right option, or another cautionary tale, remains to be seen. But the complexity of Nwaneri's situation extends beyond simply playing time and squad depth. Inside the club, there is an ongoing debate about how quickly young talents should be exposed to the pressures of elite-level football. Some staff members argue that Nwaneri's technical level is already above many players his age and that keeping him close to Arteta's structure will accelerate his development. Others believe that without consistent starts, and without a clear pathway to earn them, his progress could plateau. The uncertainty has also stirred conversation among supporters and pundits. Several former Arsenal players have expressed concern that the club may be repeating old patterns, where promising youngsters become trapped between first-team aspirations and inconsistent minutes. Others, however, believe the club is being careful for the right reasons, protecting a player who still needs physical development before facing the demands of weekly Premier League battles. This internal and external pressure has placed added scrutiny on Arteta's handling of young talents this season. While he has been praised for trusting academy graduates in the past, the balance has become harder to maintain now that Arsenal are competing on multiple fronts and aiming for silverware. Every decision carries weight. Resting senior players risks losing points, while overusing inexperienced teenagers risks injury or decline in confidence. There is also the broader question of what kind of loan would actually benefit Nwaneri, should the club eventually decide to pursue one. A move to a Premier League side fighting relegation could offer minutes, but expose him to a demanding environment that prioritizes survival over development. A championship loan, on the other hand, might provide consistent matches, but at the cost of adjusting to a more physical style that does not always align with Arsenal's tactical identity. European options have been mentioned as well, though not confirmed. The possibility of joining a club in the Netherlands or Germany, leagues known for nurturing young talent, has been discussed quietly among observers. Yet Arsenal are hesitant, given how unpredictable such moves can be and how often they fail to produce the expected results. Meanwhile, Nwaneri himself remains focused and professional, according to those around the training ground. He is said to be eager for opportunities, but not frustrated or discouraged. The coaching staff admire his attitude, which only complicates the decision further. He is doing everything right, and still his future remains uncertain. As Arsenal approach the January window, the club finds itself at a crossroads. The next few weeks will likely be decisive, not just for Nwaneri's short-term career, but for how Arsenal choose to manage their most gifted prospects in an era of high expectations and relentless schedules. Any decision made now will be examined closely, not only because of what it means for Nwaneri, but because it will signal how the club intends to balance ambition with development as they move into the next phase of Arteta's project. Arsenal now face a difficult setback. Piero Hincapié may have to step into the North London derby under less than ideal circumstances after Gabriel's injury blow. The club is hoping that Hincapié's long late return trip to North London won't affect his readiness to replace Gabriel against Tottenham, because losing the Brazilian for such a crucial match is a major hit to Mikel Arteta's plans. Arsenal have already been forced to cope with key absences at various stages of the season, but Gabriel missing the derby presents a challenge of a very different magnitude. Naturally, the focus shifts to who will fill the gap on the left side of Arsenal's defense, and for many, the most logical answer is Piero Hincapié. The summer signing impressed during his only start for the club so far, an outstanding display at left centre-back in the League Cup win over Brighton. That night, he partnered with Christian Mosquera, who is also an option for Arteta on Sunday. One possible configuration would see William Saliba move to the left, with Mosquera taking his place on the right, depending on how heavily Hincapié's international travel weighs on Arteta's decision. And that travel is far from insignificant. The Ecuadorian defender is currently away with his national team. He captained Ecuador during their 0-0 draw with Canada, helping secure the clean sheet. But the real concern comes with his final international fixture, Ecuador face New Zealand in New Jersey in the early hours of Wednesday morning, UK time. The match kicks off at 1:30 a.m. and is expected to finish around 4 a.m. Only after that will Hincapie board his flight back to England, meaning he won't arrive in London until Wednesday afternoon at the earliest. From there, he will have just a handful of days to recover, settle back in, and prepare for one of the most intense fixtures of the season. The slight silver lining is that the derby falls late in the weekend, giving him as much time as possible to reintegrate. Still, the timing of his return is far from ideal and adds yet another layer of uncertainty to Arsenal's defensive preparations ahead of a match that could define their momentum for weeks to come. Beyond the logistical headache, Arteta and his staff must also consider the physical and tactical demands that a North London derby imposes. It is not the sort of match where a defender can arrive underprepared, particularly against a Tottenham side that has looked sharp in attack this season. Any hesitation, any lapse in intensity caused by travel fatigue, could be costly. Inside Arsenal, there is a quiet concern that the club may once again be walking a tightrope with its defensive depth. Over the past 2 seasons, injuries at the back have forced Arteta into uncomfortable choices, and Gabriel's setback reopens a conversation that the club hoped was behind them. The manager has repeatedly emphasized the importance of continuity across the defensive line, especially given how central the high defensive line and controlled build-up are to Arsenal's identity. Gabriel and Saliba have been at the core of that stability, and disrupting it inevitably changes the team's rhythm. Analysts close to the club have noted that Hincapie's profile fits the role well, confident under pressure, quick across the ground, and capable of progressing the ball with either foot. However, they also caution that he is still adapting to the Premier League's pace and physicality. Throwing him straight into a derby environment may accelerate his integration, but it also carries risk. Supporters have expressed mixed reactions as well. Many are eager to see Hincapie given a real opportunity, believing his style suits Arsenal's long-term plans. Others worry that asking him to deliver immediately, under difficult circumstances, could place unnecessary pressure on a player still in the early stages of adjusting to English football. The timing of Gabriel's injury also complicates Arsenal's broader goals. With a congested winter schedule approaching and the title race tightening, every match takes on heightened importance. Dropping points against Tottenham could shift momentum, not just in the standings but in confidence across the squad. It also forces Arteta to rethink how he manages minutes for defenders who have already logged heavy workloads this season. Club insiders say the staff have been preparing contingency plans for weeks, anticipating scenarios where international duties and injuries overlap. Yet even the best planning can be stretched thin when travel delays and late-night kickoffs are added to the equation. In the coming days, the medical and performance teams will conduct assessments to determine exactly how ready Hincapie is for Sunday's showdown. Arteta is expected to make a late decision, balancing long-term health with short-term necessity. The hope is that the Ecuadorian arrives in good condition, responds well to training, and can at least offer a reliable solution in Gabriel's absence. What remains undeniable is that Arsenal enter the derby under a new layer of pressure, forced to adapt, to trust their depth, and to test the resilience that has been a defining theme of their season so far.